we either reach a settlement, a friendly kind of pat on the back, so to speak, or we don't. The ball's in your court, Dan. But, I'd like to think we can put this on hold for an indefinite period, and when the time is right, believe me, personalities, energetic people like you, with all your charisma and all your personality, which you have a tremendous asset there. And I genuinely believe, Dan, that you undersell yourself because you're a phenomenal personality. Okay, and I mean that frankly, by the way. It seems that you're a pure spirit, you're a free spirit, and you have a worthy cause. But at the same time, you're also invisible to your own capabilities, and that's your persona. Dan Quinn is a unique entity, and I respect Dan Quinn as a person, and as a potential brand, and as a potential person I can do business with.
It's funny, you say brand.
So, please, be reasonable.
I am being reasonable.
Tread water, and keep yourself busy. When the time's right, Dan Quinn and his whole stevia thing will become front-page stuff.
Okay, well, I'm not going to wait on your time schedule.
That's a promise. But it's not going to
Ali Sonoma's titty going perfect in 14 days.
Campaign to try and make it happen overnight, which, fortunately, you've not been successful with thus far. Or you can take some friendly advice, put a few quid in the bank, and we'll give you the phone call when the time's right.
15 grand to keep a miracle that vanishes Ali Sonoma's tumor in 14 days.
This miracle to life through other channels, I think you would have been able to have done so by now. You've had enough time. There's a good reason why stevia's not taken off. Have you ever considered that?
Because assholes like you and Dana have cock-blocked it and told them to shut their mouth.
Dana's nothing. Okay? I think you're overrating Dana. And you're overrating me because I myself am a servant to higher powers.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at the big picture here, Dan. Please take aboard what I'm saying to you. There's bigger things happening that you're taking into consideration. And the time's not right for what you're trying to do. And there's a way of dealing with people like that.
Put stevia in water, blend, toxic float, get them out. It acts like the fountain of youth. That will give me enough money to dismantle UFC.
Martin Luther King. He tried to do something ahead of his time. Look where it got him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
So is that a death threat?
It's not a death threat.
James,
it's an example.
Gordon, whatever the fuck your name is. Who are you today?
I've already told you my name, haven't I? And don't go there. Don't go there. You can't trace me.
That changes every time you...
We take enough... Listen, I can make sure that the next phone call I make is from your next neighborhood district. Okay? Just like I've made a few phone calls from apparently, inverted brackets, from Tennessee. I've never set foot in Tennessee before, Dan. I think you can tell that by the accent. What would a public school-educated Englishman have to do in Tennessee? Okay, I wouldn't be seen dead in Tennessee. So, that gives you some scope in terms of our communications methods. And in terms of the bigger picture, people who try to implement things before the time is right often, by and large, meet an unsightly end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd hate to see that happen to you.
Well, all I can say is I got the duct tape ready, man, and somebody comes for me.
Nothing, there's no follow-up whatsoever because I'm an anonymous person and can't be traced back to anybody or any entity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fact.
How many times have you told me? How many times have you told me that you're a UFC representative?
Don't do it, Dan. Let me just ask you this here. If you don't know who you're dealing with, okay, surely by now, in our previous numerous conversations, you would have had a phone trace. But you don't even have a clue where I'm calling you from.
I don't care where you're calling me from.
I will give you $10,000 cash if you can even name the country I'm calling from right now. You can't, can you?
You're probably in Dubai.
No, that's the beauty of encrypted communications that you're not familiar with.
Wow. You and lames on the internet do the same thing. Big deal. You could do the same thing with Skype, right? You know?
No, that's not correct. And I suggest you get one of your friends to try and do the same thing with Skype, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I have a whole different type of number showing up on your phone. Totally different number. We're familiar with Skype. It's got 128-bit encryption.
Anyhow, I think that Ali Sonoma's titty going perfect in 14 days is a lot more important than $15,000 as hush money, because you don't like me talking about Diego Sanchez sucking dick or being gay.
I've got nothing to say about anybody's sexuality. That's a private choice. What I do have something to say about is the slander of private property, and also the, how should I say, the attempt to develop a self-interest in a commodity that is being kept under wrap, and a lot of money is being spent on when the time is right. You're not the first person to become aware of stevia, Mr. Quinn. Before you were even familiar with the internet, we had people in South America on plantations experimenting with the various species of the genome of the stevia family, and also various fertilization methods.
And guys like you want to keep it back because it cures, is that right?
Let's just say you're treading in territory that you're not familiar with, and it's not in your interest to continue to tread in. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in no man's land. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Metaphorically speaking? Is that kind of like the holes in the desert around Vegas that you've talked about before?
I'm sorry, like the what?
Like the holes in the desert around Vegas that you've talked about before?
Well, I've heard about those hills. I think that's public knowledge, is it not?
You're the one that broached it in a phone conversation to me.
You just need to watch the film Casino. I mean, that's in the public domain, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Martin Scorsese's classics. I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, that's not top secret classified information.
No.
And I think those holes are still being dug, from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Or from the characters, but that's speculation. And I'm hopeful that you did come under that category of troublesome character.
All I want to do is
if you look at the
get
kind of
stevia as the cure famous, brother.
Into Vegas, they carry a lot of weight. And that's without looking at the bigger picture of the global enterprise that we're involved in. I say we in inverted practice because you probably don't understand who we are, do you?
Big money.
Big money, which is what? What is money, Dan, apart from printed paper? Sorry. Are you familiar with the history of the Weimar Republic before Hitler came to power?
You know what? I don't want to get into...
Printed money is nothing, okay? So don't give me big money. I'm talking about big fucking power. People that pull the fucking strings, okay?
Yeah. And they're the kind that don't even carry cash, is that right?
That's the source of real money. Power. Power is the source of money.
And they make too much money off sickness.
You've said everything else apart from that. Probably because you're an athlete and you're more predominantly focused on athletic pursuits and sports activities at university rather than intellectual pursuits. In pursuit of social sciences, maybe you would be more aware of the fact that power is everything. And the guardians of power, the guardians of metaphysics.
And the fact that I discovered how to make the fountain of youth is going to make me very rich, very wealthy.
Very wealthy?
Eventually, yeah. stevia blending all the toxic shit out of water.
I was asking you, are you familiar with the realm of metaphysics?
Why are we going on this subject? Seriously. I mean, can you keep a focus on why you called?
Yeah. The focus is, take a breather, and we'll work together when the time's right. But you're not doing yourself any favors.
You don't own me. You don't own me. You guys haven't paid me shit. Haven't done anything but cockblock Diego and Ali from talking about the miracle.
I don't know how much else we can do. I mean, we've said we're ready. We've got the check ready on standby. And we just need a time and a date. And we'll come to that area that we've discussed before. And we'll make the drop off. And we'll hold you as a man of your word. On that good faith, not to continue. Now, if you do continue, obviously we understand you're a man we can't do business with, but as it stands, we're prepared to do business with you. And the business is to buy your silence.
Do you even remember where I told you in the first place?
Let me just touch on this very briefly, and I won't say much on it for good reason, but Martin Luther King was offered a similar opportunity to you back in the day, basically to buy his silence. And he was a very proud man. And I'm nobody to judge individual personalities or ethics or characters or morals or scruples or whatever, you know. But anyway, to cut a long story short, he didn't accept the offer that was given to him, and he met an unsightly end.
Yeah, we all know history.
Because of his pride. That was his pride, okay?
It wasn't pride. He actually cared more about the well-being of others than he did himself.
And perhaps familiar with English literature by the genius William Shakespeare, he would have known that he who waits shall receive, which is one of the great powers of wisdom. But unfortunately, you Americans still have a beef on your shoulder, don't you?
A beef on our shoulder?
A beef on your shoulder. The fact that we used to rule you.
You know what?
And you Americans want to throw that British wisdom out the window. I'm sorry.
If it wasn't for America, England would be speaking German.
1/3 of the world from a little island, and that tells you the type of mental and intellectual capabilities that we've got. So don't fuck around with us, okay? Because I'm from the British fucking mob.
You know what? If it wasn't for America, you'd be speaking German.
Pulls Obama's strings. Obama's a little fucking puppet. Who was Barack Obama 10 years ago, Mr. Quinn? He was fuck all. He was a little fucking lawyer in a shitty little fucking legal firm that nobody has heard of before. Isn't that interesting that all of a sudden he becomes Mr. fucking Universe? By design, okay? By British design. We still pull the strings, don't forget it. And don't fuck with us.
How is trying to save life fucking with you?
It's not saving life, it's a commercial interest. Because just like we took control of it over India and over numerous territories over 200 fucking years ago, we are taking control of the natural resources. It's something that we were born with. It's a God fucking given right. Okay. Family.
You know what? That's what genetically deficient fucktards say to basically okay everything that they do and get away with it, isn't it?
That's what power is, Dan. Deal with it.
What I'm gonna do.
If the Indians had come up with a rifled barrel before our British engineers, maybe they would have won in some of those battles. But our brains are better and superior. So, the results showed themselves, didn't they? And a natural resource, just like oil, just like gold, stevia comes under that same bracket. And it seems that Dan Quinn is out on some wild kind of fucking frenzy, out to set off stake to claim a part of this enterprise. And we're not having it. Because, coincidentally, and this is just pure coincidence, by the way, the interests that I represent also are connected with Zuffa. It's part of the same pie.
Oh, is that right?
Zuffa is basically a natural resource that feeds, just like the oil fields feed off of the hydrocarbons that have been planted there millions of years ago through dead organisms. We live off, speaking from a Zuffa perspective, we live off of existing organisms, Homo sapiens.
Like a parasite.
Who spend the time in the gyms.
Like a parasite. Is that right?
And who we control through contract, through a legal contract, a legally binding contract, on how they perform and their conduct. So they're our property. And that's what we're in. We're in the property business. Okay?
You don't own me.
Yeah, it's under our realm of interest, Dan. And you're fucking around with both Zuffa and stevia. And to me, that puts you on our bad books.
You don't own stevia.
I think you should do the sensible thing here. Take the 15 grand. Go and post your fucking loony YouTube videos, licking out pussy, doing whatever the fuck you want to do. None of our business. Go and enjoy yourself. What you want.
You know, it's too bad that you're not from a different country besides Britain, because from what I hear, not many English people like to eat pussy. Is that right?
And we'll want you up when the time is right. You'll get the phone call, and we'll want you as part of this whole stevia thing.
No,
That's a guarantee.
See, you don't get it.
Right.
You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't understand. You don't own stevia. It's a commodity. And I'm the guy that discovered stevia actually blends all toxics out of water.
I'm not talking about the North American variety. I'm talking about the Indians in the Asian continent.
Yeah.
We owned them, but we took fucking command, didn't we? That's what we do. That's our business. That's our fucking bread and butter. Do you understand? That's what we do. We take over natural resources, whether it's a fucking ethnic group, whether it's something that's pumped out of the ground, whether it's something that's grown out of the fucking ground. That's what we do.
Because of you and the we that you talk about, you're ruining this planet and killing it.
No, we're not. We're
yes. No, you're killing this planet. Look at British Petroleum. Look at fucktard. British Petroleum.
Order out of chaos.
British Petroleum has basically killed the Gulf because the oil is covering the bottom. It's gonna.
That could have happened to any petroleum company. We were just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well. You're familiar with the saying "order out of chaos"?
I've heard it.
Okay. You should have an understanding of what that means, because that's what we're all about. If there's no order, you've got chaos. It's a law of the jungle. And I don't think you'd go very far in the law of the jungle, Dan. But if you play your cards right, you go well with us. You've got a good future with us. Come on, do you honestly want to spend the rest of your days on the internet calling out fucking Z-rated, Z-list fighters in a fucking cage fight where you could get your head caved in? Is that how you want to spend the rest of your days?
No, see, I was envisioning Diego Sanchez and Ali Sonoma continuing to talk about the miracle and catching on.
I'll have you sent to my personal fucking tailor on Savile Row, and we'll have you, with that big brain of yours, we'll have you in the fucking boardroom, we'll have you in those meetings where you can be making the type of contributions that somebody of your mental capabilities can make. I've actually got quite a high regard of you, because I've seen your videos, I've been following you for a long time. And I really think when this thing takes off, when we inject the kind of money and resources into stevia that we're going to do, I actually consider you a bit of an ambassador for stevia. I might be mistaken. But you've basically got a choice, and I go back to the Matrix here. Do you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? Do you want to go against us? It's basically what it boils down to, mate.
What I'm going to do...
About it, and we'll speak soon.
What I'm going to do is continue to try and get pure H2O validated as the fountain of youth. And when that happens, I'm thinking $1 a gallon would be a good price. And since there's trillions of people on the planet, and supposedly everybody needs at least a gallon of water a day, it's going to lead to a lot of money. Could actually lead to a new company paying 95% of profit to all the fighters instead of using them like a bunch of slaves.